Hey folks, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into the wacky world of Texas law. Laws are supposed to keep things running smoothly, but sometimes they get a little weird. Let's face it, society changes, and sometimes laws don't keep up. That leaves us with some head scratchers on the books. Now, these laws might not be enforced anymore, but they offer a fascinating glimpse into Texas's past, and maybe even make us chuckle a bit. Let's get started. In certain parts of the Lone Star State, there's a law stranger than a tumbleweed convention. It's illegal to chow down on your neighbor's garbage. Think about it. Your neighbor's trash might be a treasure trove to a dumpster diver, but it's also a breeding ground for bacteria and critters you wouldn't want as dinner guests. Plus, nobody wants a stranger rummaging through their week-old banana peels and empty beer cans. Unless it's recycling day, of course. So what happens if you're caught mid-feast on a slightly used pizza box from next door? Well, you could be facing charges of property theft and trespassing. Not exactly the kind of souvenir you want on your record. Here are some alternatives to satisfy your late-night cravings that don't involve your neighbor's trash. Hit up a 24-hour diner. Texas has plenty of them. And who can resist a plate of cheesy fries at 3 a.m.? Get creative in the kitchen. Leftover ingredients can be transformed into culinary masterpieces, or at least edible concoctions. Befriend your neighbor. Offer to help them take out the trash. Who knows? They might offer you a real slice of pizza in return. Fresh, hopefully. Remember, folks, respecting your neighbor's trash and their property in general is the Texan way. Besides, wouldn't you rather be known as the friendly neighbor with the awesome porch swing than the one who raids the garbage for questionable snacks? Now go forth and conquer those late-night cravings. Just make sure they involve something other than last week's burrito leftovers. Next, if you crave the feel of cool grass between your toes, you'd better have your wallet handy. Because believe it or not, walking barefoot requires a permit. A whole $5 worth. This law might have you scratching your head faster than a lizard on a hot tin roof. Is there a barefoot mafia controlling the sandal industry? Are podiatrists lobbying for mandatory shoe usage? The truth, as with many strange laws, is a little less dramatic. Back in the day, some city officials were concerned about sanitation and public appearance. They worried that bare feet might spread germs or track in undesirable elements. Think prickly cactus needles or rogue tumbleweeds. So, they slapped a price tag on freedom and voila, the barefoot permit was born. Now, before you picture a barefoot black market with shady characters hawking fake permits under flickering neon signs, relax. This law isn't exactly enforced with the intensity of a cattle stampede. Most folks just wear shoes, and the authorities have bigger fish to fry, like catching rogue armadillos, maybe. Still, it's a reminder that sometimes laws get stuck in the past, like a stubborn cowboy boot in a bucket of mud. Here's the thing. If you're walking on your own private property, kick off those boots and let your toes wiggle. But if you're venturing out on the town, a quick $5 might save you a, "Hey mister, where's your permit?" moment. So, the next time you're in Texas and the urge to channel your inner barefoot beach bum strikes, remember, knowledge is power, and $5 can buy you the freedom to walk freely, with your shoes on, of course. The third on the list, your horse needs taillights. Without taillights on midnight, you risk a potentially disastrous head-on collision, or worse, a very startled car driver. That's where Texarkana's brilliant law comes in. A simple red light strapped to your horse's saddlebag, or perhaps a fancy battery-powered tail ribbon, makes you and your four-legged friend visible to oncoming traffic. It's like a tiny cowboy disco ball for safety. Yeehaw, indeed. Now, you might be thinking,
But wouldn't a reflective vest for the rider be more practical?
sure, but where's the fun in that? A horse with taillights. That's pure Texan ingenuity and a hilarious image that will stick in your mind forever. Plus, it sparks some interesting questions. Do different colored taillights indicate a horse's mood? Red for grumpy, white for happy. Is there a black market for stylish, aerodynamic horse taillights? Can you get a discount on multi-horse taillight purchases? Asking for a friend with a posse. Look, the bottom line is this. Texarkana's horse taillight law might seem strange, but it has a clear purpose, keeping both riders and drivers safe on those dark Texas nights. Number 4 on the list, paying a ticket is a guilty plea. Yep, folks, in the Lone Star State, paying that pesky speeding fine might feel like an admission of guilt, even though technically it ain't. Here's the deal. In some states, coughing up the dough for a traffic violation is just a way to settle things quickly. But in Texas, well, consider it a legal tap dance. Paying your fine is the express lane to resolving the issue, but it also means you're basically saying,
Howdy, Judge. I messed up.
even if you swear you were going the speed limit while dodging tumbleweeds. Now, before you picture a scene straight out of a Western movie, with tumbleweeds rolling past a courtroom and a judge with a handlebar mustache glaring at you, take a deep breath. Most folks just pay the fine and move on. It's the path of least resistance, especially if the violation wasn't exactly a Bonnie and Clyde situation. But here's the thing to remember. If you feel like you got a raw deal, maybe that rogue armadillo really did dart out in front of you, you have the right to fight the ticket. You can plead not guilty and head to court, where you can explain to the judge why you deserve a second chance, and maybe even get a chuckle out of him with the whole armadillo story. Lastly, no confetti, firecrackers, or whips. These laws most likely originated from a time when public safety was a bigger concern. Uncontrolled fireworks could spark fires, confetti might create a mess that sanitation workers wouldn't appreciate, and whips. Well, let's just say a rogue whip in the wrong hands could lead to some unintended yeehaw moments. Thankfully, these laws aren't exactly enforced with the intensity of a cattle stampede. Most folks celebrate responsibly, and a little confetti rain during a high school graduation probably won't raise any eyebrows, unless it's, a really windy day, and the confetti ends up creating a traffic hazard. Well, folks, that concludes our wild ride through the wackiest laws Texas has to offer. What do you think about this topic? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Until next time, remember where you are and remember the law.